Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome, Xbox Nation, to the awesome episode and this week's show of the Xbox Factor podcast. I am one of your hosts, MrBooMStickXL, and with me, as always, is my partner in crime, all the way from the UK and not London, the Welsh gamer.
Yeah, thank you, Boom. God, I'm still really hurt from last week when you said I was from London. Anyone in the chat who's from the UK knows that, well, UK Dazarus can back me up. But
Yes, he
like,
can.
there's always been a little bit of two rams in a field when it comes to England and Wales. And obviously London is in England and I'm from Wales, hence Welsh gamer. So yeah, you watch yourself. You think before you speak next time, Boom.
Yes, sir.
Ah.
I'll make sure that I'm more careful about that. But you know what? Before we get into today's show, I needed to throw this out there. The Xbox Factor podcast, as you guys know, is a very different kind of Xbox show. The Welsh Gamer and I strive to bring you the best Xbox news, opinion, and breaking news information that is available each and every week. With that said, the hallmark of what makes this particular show very different, in air quotes, is because we promote positivity where others use hate to promote their shows. And it's been brought to our attention that the goodwill and positive outlook of this particular Xbox channel pushing the Xbox brand and the platform is why the numbers of the show are increasing each and every week. And both Drew and I wanted to take a few minutes to basically thank the entire Xbox community for supporting this show and to say that we will never change our ways. Now, Welsh, regarding what I just said, what are your takes on the way we handle this and how much respect we show the community by giving, real opinions, not clickbaitery, and how much respect do we have for each other?
Well, Boom, I think it's pretty evident by just how me and you bounce off one another, the same way you and Salty bounce off one another. We're just this isn't a job to us. This isn't like, oh, we gotta turn up because we gotta cut our check at the end of the week. This is two friends hanging out, and we do this because we love it, but also we do it because every one of you in the chat that support us week in, week out are incredible, and you deserve nothing less than our 100% effort. And we absolutely love what we do, and all we will continue to do for you guys, because there's too much bullshit in the YouTube streets these days. Me and Boom have said we're not going to name names, but I think you all know who we're referring to. Not who specifically. There's plenty of them. There's more than one, but people just spreading misinformation because of their toxicity, their clickbaitery, you name it. And what we do here is we like to keep it raw, we like to keep it honest, we like to keep it humble. And me and Boom, as individuals, we have our opinions, but we don't preach them. We just say what we think, and whether you agree or disagree is absolutely up to you. We will not cut you down for it. And we just welcome an open chat, a friendly chat. And this is just a place where we can all chat about gaming, enjoy gaming. And me and Boom are just having a bucket load of fun doing this, and we keep it positive. There's moments where we'll call bullshit out like we see it, Boom. We have done it. But for the most part, this is a very, 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 very fire show with a lot of positivity. And we absolutely love you guys in the chat. But that's all I can really say on the matter, Boom. Like, let's just say this. We are shepherds. We aren't sheep. We're going to keep our show the way it is. And we're never going to change our ways, as you put it. And we're not going to follow this trend of jumping on bandwagons to get easy clicks. At least I'm not going to. And if you ever become one of those people, Boom, sayonara, I'm out of here.
Well, that's never going to happen. But you know what? Before we get into these awesome topics we have on tap for today, I have to talk about our sponsors. And first up is the outstanding and unforgettable XboxGamerPicks.com, led by the incredible artist known on the Twitter and YouTube streets as the Graphic God, aka J-Dubs. Now, I've said it many times on this show how amazing his work is, but if you're not buying what I'm selling, all you have to do is look at my YouTube channel as well as the avatar pics for the show, and they were all handcrafted by the Graphic God himself. His prices are extremely reasonable and, of course, budget friendly. His professionalism is second to none, and the quality is nothing short of epic. So head over to xboxgamerpicks.com and tell him that Boom and Welsh sent you. And secondly, the one of the sponsors for today's show is the fine folks at Dave's Sweeps. They are the real deal of the Twitter sweepstakes. They have been a part of the community since August of 2017. And since then, they have doled out tons of Xbox gift cards as well as other prizes. And I give them my personal seal of approval. Now, as I tweeted out earlier in the week and as well today, I'm going to be giving away one copy of the Division 2 for the Xbox One. And there's a funny story about that. And I'd like to kind of just throw that out there to show you how real Dave Sweeps actually is. I happen to check my Xbox Live messages, and I see a message that says, "You were game gifted the Division 2 from Dave Sweeps." So I contacted them and said, "Hey, listen, did I enter a contest? Did I win this?" And they replied immediately, "No, Boom, you didn't win. We just wanted to show our appreciation for the way you treat the community, for being a good guy. Here's the Division 2 on us." Not realizing that I already had it. So then I then contacted them again. And I said, "Listen, I already have it." And they said, "Give it away to whoever you want. You still deserve it." So I and Dave Sweeps decided that on today's show, it would be great for someone in the community that may not have the game to give someone a shot to win it. So that prize is coming from both Dave Sweeps and me. And all you need to do is go to Twitter and type in the hashtag Dave and Boom in lower caps, and you'll be entered. And mid-show, I'm going to pick a winner. Now, all I'm going to ask is this. I have seen many people on Twitter basically, say that they wish they had the Division 2, they just can't afford it. And this is what I ask as one gamer to another who has been in that position. If you already own the Division 2, I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart, don't enter the contest. Let someone who hasn't had a chance or can afford this $60 game and give them a shot to win. I mean, you don't have to do it. Okay, this is just me asking you from one friend to another. If you already own the game, please let someone who can't afford it, who needs that win in their life to just make that shitty week that they had so much better, a chance to win. So I'll leave it at that. But you know what? We're going to open up the show slightly different. My partner in crime, the 50% that powers this show that we do each and every week, is the Welsh Gamer. I could not do it without him, nor would I choose to. And he is going to open up the show with a topic, an original topic that he thought of. So Welsh, by all means, brother, take it away.
I appreciate it, Boom. And I just want to reiterate as well that I know for a fact you would never, ever betray your morals and become one of these clickbaiters. I was just messing with you, Boom.
Oh, yes. Well, I know that's right.
No, me and you are cut from the same cloth, man. Like, that's why we bounce off each other, and I just love what we're doing here. But appreciate you giving me the mic, Boom. Everyone in the chat, I enjoy doing this with MrBooMStick every single week, and I approached him on Twitter DM and just said, "Yo, any chance I can open the show with a topic I've written up regarding the future of gaming?" So here we go. And I'm going to be asking you the questions, Boom. I hope you're ready, man.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm definitely ready.
Right. Well, let's open up with Google Stadia. How would you pronounce it?
I would say it's Stadia. Yeah.
Stadia. Right. Well, Google is attempting to jump on the future of gaming bandwagon with the exact same concept that Xbox has been paving the way towards since Phil Spencer became the boss in 2014. And that is Play Anywhere. Xbox is going to be using the xCloud to achieve the Play Anywhere initiative, where you can access your Xbox library on any device wherever you are in the world. That is exactly what Google aimed to push with their Google Stadia platform. One huge difference, though, which makes Xbox more appealing to the masses as of right now and going forward. And it's this: Google won't have an option to own local hardware, which is what most people want. Like, think about it, Boom. How many people have been crying to the high heavens, like, oh, we don't want hardware to go anywhere. We don't want it to be all digital. We want a console. We want Xbox to keep making a box. And so it's become apparent over the last year or so that, especially console gamers, people want their consoles. So, but this is the thing. That is what people want, and Xbox has you covered. Whereas Google won't have this, Xbox does. The current Xbox One X, the One S digital only box, and of course, next gen, you're going to have Lockhart and Anaconda as options, as Xbox console options. So with all that said, Boom, I have 3 questions for you. I'll ask you the first one. Does this, with everything I just said, does this render Google Stadia pointless? As in theory, Xbox is going to have everything that Google is offering, except Xbox will have the option to buy a box under the TV.
I'm going to respond very quickly as to say that even though I thought Google did a great job explaining what they were attempting to do to, get that big splash in the market, I was actually very disappointed that there wasn't a piece of hardware to buy. Now, maybe that's because I'm the old man in the room. As long as the option is there, I'm always going to buy local hardware. I'm always going to want that box underneath the TV. I'll say it now, like I said it yesterday. That option, I don't think is going away in the next 25 years. I'm going to be in an old age home by the time that happens. I don't think that even with 5G around the corner, you have to understand that because I'm not saying you particularly, Welsh, or I'm talking about to the people in the chat. You might have the best internet since sliced bread, but there's also going to be someone in the chat that has the worst internet since molded bread, right? So, and then until this country could really rebound and move up that ladder with internet structure, I don't see that happening. But in regards to what you're saying, yeah, dude, I think not having actual hardware and a horrendous looking controller that looks like carpal tunnel is immediately going to start set in the minute you start playing anything. I think that the advantage is going to be for not only the Xbox, but I think the advantage still moves to the Sony PlayStation 5 as well as the Nintendo Switch current and 2. There's hardware. People want that piece of hardware underneath their TVs and in their hands. I don't think that's going away, Welsh.
Sorry, Boom, I do apologize. Can you just repeat that last bit? It completely froze. My screen froze for like 8 seconds, and then it just all came at me at once.
Okay, so what I was saying is that I don't think that, even talking about the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch, the ideology of a box underneath your TV is not going anywhere. And I think, yes, that is going to be a disadvantage for this service.
No, absolutely. Well, that's why I wanted to throw that question out there, because it's kind of like, Google Stadia. I almost feel like as amazing as the concept is, I'm not knocking it. I'm certainly not against it. If they want to have a crack at getting into the industry and playing their role, I applaud them for at least going for it. But thanks to the forward thinking of Phil, I do think Google might be just a little bit, might have just, I don't know, maybe they were just. They kind of missed that ship, if that makes sense. I don't know. But that kind of brings me to my next question for you, Boom. Question number 2. And in the chat, I want you to put a 1 for yes or 2 for no. But does this prove that Phil Spencer was completely correct in his forward thinking on how the future will look for gaming, as Google being one of the only other companies in the world, Boom, that can actually hold their ground financially toe-to-toe with Microsoft, are in fact gearing up for the exact style of play anywhere gaming, minus obviously not having their own static box option. But I suppose my question in a nutshell, Boom, is like Google's a juggernaut, and they've got the finance to give themselves a very good foot in in the right direction. But the fact that they're doing the play anywhere thing, and it's the same thing Phil's been pretty much prophesizing since 2014. Does this whole situation with Google prove that Phil was correct, and he was well, not just correct, he's a fucking genius?
Yeah, it really does. I've said this for quite some time. I have always been a big Phil Spencer fan. When he was promoted into his current position, which is VP, I cheered. I cheered. I didn't go and start rioting in the streets because I'm civil like that. But I cheered for myself and I cheered for the Xbox fans because at Phil's center, besides being a corporate person, besides being the someone that is on the top of the food chain when it comes to the Microsoft and the Xbox platform, he at his core is a gamer, right? I mean, he's the main reason why we had hate it, love it, or otherwise, why we were able to get a Crackdown 3 because he did not want to see the franchise die. He wanted, by all rights, it just should have been canceled, and he made it happen.
Yeah.
And him having this forward thinking. Listen, Microsoft has been ahead of the curve many times over, and unfortunately, sometimes again with messaging, they don't hit it out of the park when it comes to trying to explain what they're doing, which is why they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit when about the future of the way gaming is going to look in a year or 2 years or 5 years from now. It's going to be a very different scope, but at the same time, I'm going to be honest with you. Google basically was Phil Spencer's validation, if you will, to why Microsoft is going in the direction that they're going. And, after this particular topic, we're going to go right into some big numbers that we talked about privately that's basically going to shut down many of the naysayers who, and again, I'm not going to name people. If you guys want to talk about them in the chat or talk about them or different channels, that's okay. Me, I'm not looking for a fight. I have my opinion. Welsh has his. And of course, like the world as it spins, they're entitled to theirs. I won't agree with it, but I'm also not going to, shout them out and try and disprove them. They're going to do that on their own. They're the fans, you guys, are going to be the ones not tuning into their shows, not watching their videos because it's all BS. But real quick, I have to say a big, ginormous thank you to Patrick Morgan for the outstanding $10 super chat. He says, "Hello, guys. Long-time listener. Thank you for that. First-time commenter. Welcome, sir. In terms of next generation innovation with future games, what are you most looking forward to? For example, fully destructible environments." I mean, it's I think that the cherry on top for most gamers, and I'll get to your answer to this in a second, Welsh, is people want the 4K 60. I think it's safe to say that if the next generation systems come out and they can't achieve that, I think it's going to be a big epic fail. And I think that's what the PlayStation, Xbox, and I can't speak on Nintendo. They kind of march to their own drum. But as for the two main consoles that are going to be pushing graphics and chipsets, I think that 4K 60 has to be the hallmark for next generation. What are your takes, Welsh?
I completely agree. I think with regards to resolution frames, like 4K 60 is the magic numbers. I think, but I know you said Nintendo march to their own drum, but I even think to some extent Nintendo should at least try and aim for those numbers. But speaking of the main competitors, obviously Xbox and PlayStation, if I think I'd be very surprised if they don't hit those numbers. But also he mentioned something about like cloud, the cloud with like 100% destructible environment and stuff like that. I do think that that's one of the more important things I want to see next gen. I want to see more innovation like that. I want to see games getting bigger, textures and draw distances, all these different things that go into making a very immersive game. I want to see that just overall evolve. Like, I want to be able to play a game like The Witcher 3, where if I set a tree on fire, it like burns to ash, opposed to like burns a little bit of black on the back, and that's it. That kind of thing. I'm just expecting a lot of big things approaching a new generation with these big developers like the Initiative. What the hell's going on at the Initiative? but no, that's just general evolve. I want to see more things evolve game wise.
Okay, now what is your third question in regards to your amazing topic?
Right, my third question is gonna potentially like trigger a few people, but it wasn't intended in that way. It is just like me and Boom said before we went live, when we talk about our opinions or put questions out there or throw things out there, we don't preach, but we like to back things up with logic and stuff like that. So this question I'm about to ask came from a logical place, because I just talked about how Phil was forward thinking. I just talked about how, and Boom just backed me up as well, the fact that Google, being one of the only companies in the world that could stand toe to toe with Microsoft financially, and their attempt at getting into the gaming industry, they're going down the same exact yellow brick road that Xbox is going down with the online play anywhere initiative. I've said it for years. Boom has said it for years. Salty, just about anyone who has half a brain cell or more knows that this is the future of gaming moving forward. So, and that leads me to this question, Boom, because obviously we've talked in previous podcasts about Sony's stubbornness and their lack of innovation, and the way they, like, you know, they're stuck in their ways, which has worked phenomenally for them this generation. But it does precede the next question I'm about to ask, and this is, Boom, my last question to you. Does this, everything we're talking about, does this mean that Sony's PlayStation will be left behind, or at the very least severely lagging behind in terms of gaming evolution, due to the lack of forward planning, funds, and resources that otherwise companies like Google and Microsoft have in place already and have had in place for years now?
You know, look, here's the thing. You know, Sony, even though they are nowhere near as financially stout as either Google or Microsoft, the company themselves are reigning supreme with this particular generation, simply because they spent the money on marketing, right? They sold the consumer dreams, and they delivered on those dreams with their first party. In regards to whether or not they're caught with their pants down, the thing is this. Right now, what leads me to believe that they're starting to understand that change is coming. And like when you look at Sony for this generation, right, Welsh, you look at a lot of traditional thinking. Stronger and more powerful hardware led the charge in 2013, right? 1080p versus 900p. I understand it wasn't a lot, but they sold it. They sold it to their consumers that difference in P's mattered. Okay. And they embraced the indie community in a big way, and that was because they knew that they were lacking in their first party. A lot of their games, were way out, super way out. And then years 16, year 17, year 18, and year 19, they delivered on a lot of their first party promises, especially in 2018. But their head has been the head of Sony has been doing the round robin in regards to interviews, and it's become very Sean Layden is more specifically. I don't want to just not name him, because I really like Sean Layden. I think he's a really good dude, and when he speaks to his consumers, he's actually speaking to them, just like Phil. I like him a lot. I think he's a really good dude. He's a perfect fit for Sony. He's been doing a lot of interviews. He's been talking a lot, and I think it's because the Sony community is stuck in a bit of a time warp where it's very traditional, and the traditional gaming that won the generation for them in 2013 to 2019 is not going to be the same in next generation, and he knows it, and Sony knows it. It's just that they're trying to ease their fans into accepting that the PC is getting, games, and that the PS Now service is going to eventually morph, in my opinion, into like, a Sony Game Pass. And I hope so, because I'll be signing up day one for that. So I in regards to them being left behind, I think that, we don't know what they're going to do, right? I mean, Phil Spencer has already laid out what they want to do, right? And people were running for the hills. Oh my God, the sky is falling. I hate Xbox. You suck, Phil, right? We've heard it. And now we see Google is basically the validation for Phil Spencer's ideology. And now people are like, well, Phil wasn't so wrong. I'm starting to see the flip floppers out there. We know who we're talking about, right?
Aye.
And and now I think Sony, I don't know how far or forward thinking they are because they haven't really laid out their plans. But the way that Sean Layden has been speaking as of late is kind of telling me that they're going to be going down the same route. Now, is it going to be the same speed as Microsoft with the Azure servers, or as the same speed as Google with their amazing servers? I don't know. That's a really good question. It is definitely one worth debating. Some people be like, you don't know what you're talking about, Boom. Sony's the best. Okay, if that's what you say. But we know what the two other companies are doing. We don't know what Sony is doing. And because they're skipping E3, it's putting them, it's kind of painting themselves into a corner, in my opinion. I don't know, Welsh. What do you think?
It's a funny one. I know I've put the question out there, but I've given it some great thought. That's why I put originally the question read, does this mean Sony's PlayStation will be left behind? But I thought, you know what, that's pretty cemented. That's quite a bold statement. So I added, will they be left behind, or at the very least severely lagging behind? Because the way I see it, Boom, this whole generation, or no, that's a lie. From 2014, aka Phil Spencer's reign, onwards to this present day, it has been an uphill battle for Xbox. And literally, whatever Xbox has said or done in either interviews or E3s or anything, or any tweets, has been raked over the coals, pointed and laughed at, ridiculed left and right, whether it be by the toxic fanboys or the biased media, your IGNs, your digital foundries, you name it. And that goes for everything that we're talking about now as well, the whole Play Anywhere initiative. And do you remember what Sony was saying, and the Sony fanboys and on all that lot? It was always the same thing. Oh, Xbox has no games. Their games are going to PC. They're not going to have any true exclusives. Which, okay, if that's how you feel, and Sony wanted to back that horse, then fair enough. But now I think what I mean by severely lagging, and I do not believe they'll ever be left behind because they have a place in this gaming, this gaming circle. But I do believe they're potentially lagging behind simply because they have been this whole like, no, we're the static box, we're this, we're that, we're the one place to play, greatness awaits. And while they've been puffing their chests out and following the crowd, basically whatever the fanboys are screaming on Twitter, Sony have kind of been backing that horse instead of thinking for themselves like Phil does. While Sony's been doing that and staying quite stagnant and the same as they did the beginning of this generation, Xbox has been slowly but surely evolving and transforming, almost metamorphosizing into a whole new way we look at a gaming company and a gaming ecosystem. And now we're going into a new generation, and with Google coming to the forefront with, oh yeah, this is Google Stadia. We've been working on this behind closed doors for about 5 years, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh shit. So all the time Phil's been telling us what he's been working on, Google has been working on the same sort of thing. So where I mean by Sony is potentially, and I'd be very surprised if they weren't in some way severely lagging behind, is because, okay, maybe now they realize that, oh shit, maybe we were wrong. Maybe this is where gaming's going. But if that is the case, that means that we're not going to see Sony's version of this, at least not nearly to the same level as what Xbox and Google are going to be presenting, for at least another 3 to 5 years. Because it takes a lot of work, I presume. And if Microsoft, who specialize in software, have been working on this since 2014, then how long do you think it's going to take for Sony to get their ass into gear? It's probably going to take about the same, if not a little bit longer. So I just think by the time Sony is in full-fledged Play Anywhere mode, and they've got their own Sony Game Pass and their own multiple devices like initiative ecosystem thing going on, like Xbox and Google, I think potentially by then Google and Xbox would have truly planted their feet. And Sony might be a little bit late to that race because they weren't sticking with the times. They were sticking in yesterday. That's what I think. Am I making any sense, Boom?
No, you make a lot of sense, and obviously, they don't want to be the one showing up to the party late. They obviously, again, the mistakes that Sony made from the PlayStation 2 to the 3 is you'll never, at least I hope you'll never see that again. And the same thing I say about Microsoft. The mistakes that were made from the 360 to the Xbox One, we all hope and pray that those never happen again. Sony, they have their fan base is rabid. They have a very loyal fan base. Of course, they have a very toxic fan base. We don't, and both sides do. Let's understand this for a second, that both sides of the coin have an ugly side to them. All right, the Xbox is not saved from that. There are plenty of Xbox people out there that I wouldn't even break a piece of bread with, because they are the worst of the worst. The same as the Sony toxic fanboys, that they just ruin. They bring hate into everything, and it's just it really just ruins the great vibe that this community can have. So it's not just one brand over the other; they both have it. But the Sony fan base is loyal, and they've enjoyed their console this generation, and they're probably going to enjoy the console next generation. It's just, what is Sony going to do to elevate from what they've done here in this generation to next generation? And I don't think anyone could say anything. You can't assume that they're going to go all digital and have a streaming box and have two separate SKUs, and we don't know any of that. We have nothing to go on other than assumptions. Right now, Microsoft has put themselves, Phil more specifically, has put the company in an incredible position. He actually responded, through a letter, to the employees about where they're going to go, and that E3 is going to be big for the company. I mean, listen, they know what's going on, and I hate to say this, and this is not an insult. I'm only saying I've heard other people say this. Do I really believe it? No. Anyone that sells video games, and if you're a game seller, is your competition. That's my opinion. But of course, I don't have a degree in business. I'm just a ex-cop that likes talking about video games, right? So what the hell do I know? But if I were in Phil's position, I would consider Sony and Nintendo my competition, as well as Apple and Amazon and now Google. Some people in other circles think that Microsoft only sees Google as their competition because of their money and because of their infrastructure. Well, I mean, that may be true. That's certainly not how I personally think. I think that they have to look at everyone. You have to look at Nintendo. You have to look at Sony. You have to look at Apple, that hasn't even made a splash yet. And Amazon has been talking about it for years. So you have to keep them in your rearview mirror to make sure that they don't spring up and surprise you. So I don't know. It's a great question. This was a fantastic topic, dude. I hope I answered it.
No, mate, absolutely, and I appreciate that you let me do this. I just wanted to end by saying that there's a guy in the chat, the Almighty Spartan God. Shout out to you, dude. He said, I basically put the question out there, am I making sense, guys? And he said, yes, you are making sense, Welsh, which I appreciate. And then he said, but remember that we, and I'm assuming he means we as the community, are the ones that control gaming.
Yes,
now,
he's correct. Yeah.
See, that's the thing, Boo. I'm glad you answered so abruptly, because I needed to get like an idea of what you were going to say, but like, that's an interesting point. But remember, we control gaming, because I gotta say, like, I don't feel like we do. I honestly don't. I mean, like, just take Phil, for example. I think Phil was always going to do what he was going to do with regard. By the way, the Almighty God, I know I didn't take it in a disrespectful way, dude. That I respected completely what you said. But in answer to what you said, I'm not sure if we do have much say in the matter, Boom. Like, when you think about it, if Phil in 2014 put a poll on Twitter and said, right, how do you want this to pan out, guys? Do you want to continue with just your box under the TV with its exclusives and all that stuff? Or do you want us to start dabbling into streaming and multiple devices, being able to play on the go? And I think most people would be like rabbits in headlights and be like, no, Phil, no, just stick with what we know, man. Just stick with what we know. And a lot of people between then and now have said that to him, regardless. But he still pushed and pushed and pushed this initiative, and now come full circle thanks to the likes of Google's validation, it's become clear that he was right all along. But my point is, like, we never had a say in this. There's a lot of people who don't agree with it, and we could name names, but we're not going to.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that still don't agree with it. But I think that at least in Phil's case, even if the majority vote was, I do not want this to happen to my Xbox, my perfect Xbox, leave my Xbox alone, I think Phil would do it anyway. I do. I really do think so. But that's just what I think in response. But I appreciate what you said, the Almighty God. But anyway, Boom, I've had the mic long enough, dude. This is your channel, MrBooMStickXL. Take it away. What do we got to talk about next? I appreciate you letting me do that, man. I had a lot of
no problem, dude. Listen, like I said, you're 50% of the show, and this is what we do. We're partners, so we're gonna both push each other to be better. And in regards to topic 2, the one thing that I enjoy about partnering up with the Welsh Gamer, but more specifically Saltiest Gaming, is we all are realists, right? We all deal in truths. We deal in analytics, and numbers usually can shut down an argument almost immediately. And, the sky is falling Xbox Gamer has been making the news as of late. And quite frankly, Drew, it's embarrassing, to say the least. I've said it on last week's Crossfire, and I'm going to say it again on today's show. If you are not excited for the Xbox brand in 2019 and beyond, for what we as Xbox gamers know, I can say with full honesty that nothing Phil Spencer and the amazing people at Redmond will ever do could make you happy as a gamer for that platform. I'm sorry. Since September 2017, when Phil was promoted to senior leadership team to be the vice president of gaming for Microsoft, all he's done, Drew, is everything he said he was going to do since the interview after that big promotion. He wanted to address the hardware that was lacking, and he did that with the Xbox One S and X, right? He addressed first-party software that was at an all-time low due to internal issues within Microsoft's hierarchy that ex-employees that we won't even talk about nearly came to ruining the company. And in 2018, Drew, Phil Spencer doubled the amount of first-party game studios in a 6-month period, right? With Sony pulling out of E3 2019, Microsoft is positioning themselves to have the biggest E3 in the company's history. Halo Infinite, Gears 5, Ninja Theory's new IP, the next Forza, confirmed. Fable, Perfect Dark, Banjo-Kazooie, plus a ton of other rumors to be showing up there. I mean, how do you not get excited for that, people? I sit back and I'm stumped when I listen to some of these shows. Well, you know what? Looking towards the future, Drew, the platform will be looking to grab the 2.3 billion gamers that are currently invested in gaming, and that includes home console, PC, and of course, the mobile market. Now, how Project X Cloud will enable gamers with every skill and every level of interest to play Xbox is really just a thought right now. We don't know how it's going to work, but we know that it is on its way. So, I have to talk about numbers, Drew. I want to, numbers will shut down anyone's negativity. And, you and I talked privately about how certain people calling for Phil's head, saying that he is not the leader Xbox needs, that the Xbox brand is becoming irrelevant, that the console is becoming irrelevant, the sky is falling, I've lost all will to live, all kinds of ridiculous nonsense. And when you read some of these clickbait titles, I don't even click on them anymore because I'm not going to be a part of the problem. So I unsubscribe and I don't even bother anymore. So let's talk numbers, folks. And I know that the chat, we're near 150 people watching live. So thank you for that. That's absolutely insane. On the Earth, the entire planet, Welsh, is 7.6 billion people. That stat is the closest I came to in regards to when that stat was taken was 2017. I could not find the 2019 stat. So this stat is from 2017. I'd like to say it's probably 8 billion by now, but you know what? We're going to keep it at 7.6. Okay.
2.3
2.3 billion gamers, active gamers. That is a third of the world. Okay? Now think about that for a second. The Earth, right?
Yeah,
7.
it's crazy. When you say it like that, it's crazy.
7.6 billion people, 2.3 billion of those people are gamers, Welsh, right? So now everyone has been talking about how, and I've heard it on different shows, Xbox is PC, PC is Xbox, but we don't get anything. And why is the PC community so goddamn important to Phil Spencer? Well, here's the stats that shuts everyone down. And you can challenge me because I'll give you the website. I'm going to add it into the show notes. You can go and you can do all the research. I took 3 days to find all these numbers. That's how much this was important to me, because I wanted to make sure that when I came out to this show, Welsh, that I was speaking fact, not fiction like most of these other knuckleheads. Okay?
Absolutely, mate. It's all you.
As it stands right now, okay, on today's date, the 21st of March, 2019, there are 1.2 PC gamers in the world. Okay? That is, in my estimation, I'm no mathematician here, folks, more than half of the gaming population plays on PC. So now if you're Phil Spencer and you're saying, well, we want to make sure that we reach the 2.3 billion gamers, you don't think that his radar is pointing to the 1.2 billion PC gamers that are available to play Xbox games, to play Halo, Gears, Forza, Fable, Perfect Dark, and whatever else they have underneath the hood that we don't know about? Welsh, I mean, listen, these are hashtag facts, hashtag numbers matter, hashtag we all win as gamers when they sell more copies. Take it away. What is your response to the numbers that I just put out there that are factual, by the way?
Oh man, the numbers don't lie, do they? I mean, like, just take that sentence right there. Of those 2.3 billion gamers, when that goat covers all bases now, from Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Nintendo, whatever. Every gamer active, 2.3. And of that 2.3, 1.2 billion, over half are PC gamers. Would it behoove any businessman in Phil Spencer's position to at least try to tap into that resource? Like, I'm sorry, Boom, but like I've got a long answer that I've got written down with regards to the whole topic, but just discussing those numbers right now, I mean, you said it best, hashtag facts. Like, how can anyone, this is the thing, this is my argument. If you're an individual who is a fan of Xbox and you want Xbox to stay relevant, you want Xbox to get bigger, you want Xbox to produce more games, you want Xbox to produce more hardware, you want Xbox to do this, you want it to do that, you want it to make more controllers, have more features, all these things. It needs to stay relevant, correct? And it needs to grow, correct? And in order to grow, in order to stay relevant, is to get with the times, to reach out to as many people as possible. Businesses don't grow by staying the same. Like, it's just impossible. Like, it's just one of those things. And Boom, if I may, I've got a pretty lengthy thing I just need to, end of the day, Boom, you set me up perfectly with this topic for a Welsh rant.
Please, by all means, we love them. So go crazy.
But I'm not going to today. I'm going to keep my cool and just talk in a more civilized manner for a change of pace. Plus, my throat is a tad sore. I got to be honest, Boom. I mean this now, right? I genuinely do feel sorry for the sky is falling people. As, in answer to your question, the question you put into the chat for me earlier, what is my response to what you've listed for this topic? Like, everything you've said, from those numbers to you breaking down Fable and Perfect Dark and all the consoles and the sky is falling people. Like, this is everything I got to say on this, Boom. You have made it so easy for me. You are a trooper. But I genuinely feel sorry for the sky is falling people, Boom, as they just can't see how great things are going to be for Xbox. I know the running joke is, Xbox are always looking into the future. But in today's technological climate, you simply need to be looking ahead. Just look at what we've said already. Just look at what Google is doing. They are bringing to the table, with its all streaming on any device approach, much like, does that sound familiar to anyone? Like, doesn't that sound familiar? We've heard rumbling for a while now, possibly even years, that Google wanted in on the gaming market, which means that they have been working on Stadia behind the scenes for years, because they knew that if they wanted to compete in gaming nowadays and moving into the future, they could not just make a static Google box that goes under the TV, and that would have, and this is facts as well, people, that would have flopped harder than a drunk priest. I was about to be really rude then. Yeah, but the end of the day, that would have flopped terribly. Like all the boxes that have come before it, all the different boxes that have attempted to jump in on this gaming space that have failed, and there are plenty. So what did Google do instead? They have created a platform that you can access anywhere you go. Yep. Some would even say a play anywhere initiative. So I'll ask again, Boom, to you and the chat. Doesn't this sound familiar?
It certainly does.
If any of you listening say to yourself now, nah, that doesn't sound familiar at all, what the hell is this Welsh gamer on about? Then I'm honestly concerned for your health. I'm honestly concerned for your hearing. I'm honestly concerned for your eyesight. There's something amiss. There's something terribly wrong. It should sound very familiar by now, because this is what Xbox has been gearing towards since Phil took over in 2014. And talk about forward thinking. This is exactly what Play Anywhere and the xCloud is for, guys. Yes. This is why Xbox Game Pass is going to multiple devices. This is why Inside Xbox was demonstrating Forza on mobile phones. If people can't get excited or get behind these ideas now, today, even though Xbox has been pushing the Xbox brand across devices since 2014, then it truly blows my mind how anyone can exist at this point, Boom. Xbox has a huge advantage, because they're not the only one established. They're not the only established gaming company paving the way for the future of gaming, and not allowing Google to tap into all the potential people unreached, which is of that 2.3 billion, 1.2 billion of those people unreached by Xbox, by Google. They are just PC gamers waiting to be tapped into, Boom. And Xbox has been ahead of the curve this whole time. They have been unreached, and because of Xbox's plans and how they've executed it, Google is not going to be unchecked. Because Google, think about it, if Xbox had stayed stagnant, like we discussed a moment ago, like with PlayStation and whatever, Google would have had free pickings for any one of those 1.2 billion people. Bottom line, guys, all of this is excellent stuff. And that's before we even talk games and what E3 2019 has in store for us. The people that simply can't get excited for this, Boom, and can't wrap their heads around the concept of what Phil and team are doing to reach out to every possible gamer, not just a select few, are either ignorant to progression, or they're just trying to be polarizing for clicks and easy YouTube traffic. That's all I can put it down to, Boom, because any savvy businessman in Phil's position would be doing exactly what he's doing. The numbers don't lie. The numbers just don't lie. Xbox has sold what? 40 million units or whatever it is.
40 or 45. It's anywhere between that. I mean, it's half of what Sony has sold, but it's at least half.
But even 100 million plus 40 million, that's 140 million out of, that's PlayStation and Xbox combined now. That's out of that's out of what? What was that number again? How many billion active gamers? Like
2.3. 2.3. Yeah.
But I think it's insane. Like, we are such a minority compared to that number. And what Phil is doing is ensuring that more and more and more people will be subscribing to the Xbox's services. And in full circle, it's just going to be the best thing they ever do. People will get there in the end, Boom. A lot of people are like rabbits in headlights. They shit themselves when something comes their way that's different and they can't explain it. But they'll come around. They'll come around.
Yeah, no, I believe so. And real quick, someone dropped a $5 super chat in about maybe 10 minutes ago, and my feed got cut off. And I don't know who it was, and I have to give them a shout out. So if you drop that $5 in there, please do me a favor. Just put a message into the chat so I can give you the proper shout out, because listen, you don't have to give anything to me. And the fact that the people have been so generous. Yes, sir.
Sorry, so I got it up here if you want me to read it. Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, and it was Algorithm Gaming that.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Could you read exactly what they wrote?
Yeah. He wrote, or she wrote one. He or she wrote, "I love the show, Boom. Welsh is great as well. Thank you, Algorithm. He needs to be in more podcasts like Crossfire so Mooch can yell at him."
That's a good one. I like.
Keep up the great work. I appreciate that, Algorithm.
Yes, thank you first of all, thank you for the extremely kind comments, and also the generosity, and Scrub Nurse, a big fan of the show, with the outstanding $10 super chat, says, "I'm almost 40 years old. Technological changes changes things, and the future of gaming is geared towards a younger crowd and how they consume media." Very true. I would be crazy still asking to play my games on floppy disks. That's a good one. I like that. Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for the absolutely insane generosity. And yes, you're absolutely correct. See, one of the things that, and I'm actually stealing this from Salty. Salty says this all the time. People have to remember that the younger generation, right? The kids, the ones that are in their 20s now, and they're a kid to me, grew up. What did they grow up doing? Playing on their parents' iPads and their tablets and their iPhones and their Android phones, and that's why they're all playing Fortnite on the phone. That's why they're all playing PUBG on the phone. That's why they're all going to be playing Call of Duty Mobile that's going to be releasing soon, because they grew up playing like that. We, the older generation, lots of folks that are in the chat here, grew up playing the traditional under the box TV console with the controller in your hand, with your cartridges, your floppy disks, and now your DVDs, your CDs, and your Blu-rays, right? We grew up with that. But, I mean, I look to myself. I'm 48 years old. I'll be 49. So I've been gaming a very long time. I say it all the time. And it's not to throw it at anyone's face. But if I can accept change coming from someone who started with sticks and blocks, I think anyone can overcome it. And again, there are some people in the community that want their physical media, and I understand that. And I actually don't think that's going away anytime soon. I just really don't. I don't see it. But in regards to the way we play, how we consume the content, I think that it's just options are great for gamers. Options are great for people. And I know Microsoft is saying that you've heard Phil, Drew. You've heard Phil say it. You've heard other people from Microsoft say it. We're not looking to replace your box. Right? No. That's not going to happen. It's just the current trend of game streaming is just not powerful enough to offer 4K 60. Now, I know that Google said that this service 4K 60 all the way. That's probably not going to be for quite some time. You got to remember, people have to have the proper internet to run that 4K 60, and also data capping is going to be a big problem in this country. So you know what? Let's
I thought you cut off then.
No. I took a break because it's you can only speak so much before you need a sip of water and a breath of air. But you know what? Let's move on to another original topic. This is something that has been another hot topic within the community. And over the weekend I sat down and I wrote this because I wanted to address it with my opinion. You saw it. You agreed with me. And I've been saying this. And again, I remember I called Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider in Game Pass, and I got laughed at. And that's fine because I was wrong. But it eventually came to it, like I think a lot of games are. Well, I'm in the camp that Microsoft is in a very, very unique and powerful position moving forward to remove the $60 a year for Xbox Live. Now you say, wait a second, Boom, you're insane. How are they going to do that? Well, I have an ideology. I'm going to throw it out there. And like I said, if I'm wrong, well, then so be it. It's just my opinion. But you know what? I think it's a good talking piece. Besides the Games with Gold program that offers paying customers 4 games a year in total, Welsh, whereas Sony at this particular time only offers the 2 games. They just transferred over. It's only 2 games. the Xbox titles, depending on what your opinion is of quality, are what you get for your $60 a year. Some people may think it's trash, some of the games. Some people may think it's great. Some people may have never played some of the OG Xbox games, which we're now getting. But on the technical side of things, Welsh, the $60 that you get that you have to pay for Xbox Live, you're getting the most secure servers in the business. Now that Azure servers have been transitioned to be the ones running Xbox Live, Microsoft has the brand in a position to be the best place to play, and more specifically, the safest place to play. And obviously, we know what happens with false credit cards being stolen, identities being stolen, and tons of internet threats. You've never heard of an incursion for the Microsoft. I mean, sure, when they get a DOS attack, the service goes down. But I think that's anybody. But you've never heard, my credit card was stolen while I bought something on Xbox Live, and now they bought themselves a Lamborghini. You don't hear about that.
No, for sure.
But this is what brings me to why I decided this would make a great talking point for the show. Xbox Game Pass is the Netflix of gaming, and like many times before, Microsoft, they're the trendsetters. This is my thought process on it, and like I said, I could be 1,000% wrong, and if so, that's completely fine. But let's get into numbers again, Welsh. Right? How could Microsoft say to their communities, their gamers, say, hey, listen, you know what? You don't want to pay the $60 a year. We hear you. We're going to make that happen. How does that happen, Welsh? Well, it's real simple. Okay. A lot of people, even though Game Pass has taken off, right? It has taken, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. We talk about it all the time. We're going to talk about it again on this show, right? It's so important that it's always going to somehow work its way into our show, because it's a big piece of the Xbox community. It's a big piece of the Xbox console and the platform. Right now, I don't know what the numbers are. I can't say that 20 million of the 45 million have subscribed to Xbox Game Pass. I don't know that, because I actually looked for it and I couldn't find the exact number. So if you're in the chat and you happen to know how many subscriptions they've sold, throw it out there. I'll give you a shout out, because I couldn't find it. But I'm going to say this. We know how many current active users there are for the Xbox platform, which includes Xbox 360, and that's over 56 million on a regular basis. And because Xbox Game Pass is $10 a month, which comes out to $120 a year. Of course, if you're savvy, you can find different ways to lower that. But the normal course is $120 per year. If you tack on Xbox Live to that, that's $180 a year. Now, I pay it gladly. I mean, like I said, I enjoy the service and I trust the service, is why I pay it. But if Microsoft wanted to really put Sony in a real difficult position, they could offer, as long as you are a Game Pass subscriber, Xbox Live is free. Now I've heard different people say, well, wait a second, that's $3 billion a year. Well, that is true. But if you take the $60 a year out for Xbox Live and you replace it with the $120 a year for Xbox Game Pass, not only are you getting Live, but you're getting 200 games. That's your in if I'm Microsoft, right? Oh, yeah, you can play online with your friends for free. You just subscribe to Game Pass. Oh, and by the way, you get 200 games that you can download and play. And, listen, I mean, I know that I've talked for a while. Welsh, I want to get your opinion on this. Have I broken it down in a way that makes business sense?
Mate, absolutely. Like that is quite literally the best thing Phil could do. I gotta be honest, Boom. When this is just me being honest, guys. This is me and Boom. We talk. We're being honest. When I first read that topic, my initial reaction, when I breezed through it, like, because I saw it, when you send me the topics, I scan through the topics. My first reaction was, what a nutty bastard.
I love it.
But upon reflection and deeper reading, I gotta be honest, Boom. I think you are truly, truly onto something. I mean it honestly. Because well, I honestly think everything you said, I think this would be such a great idea. as every single individual invested in Xbox's ecosystem, whether you own an Xbox console like the Anaconda, or you're a PC gamer, or you're streaming to your Maverick or mobile device, whatever, it doesn't really matter at that point. But every single person will be in the exact same position if this was to happen when it comes to Xbox expenses annually. There wouldn't be any more of this PC gamers don't pay for live, so why should we? It would, this whole thing, it would, what you're saying, Boom, it would ultimately make Xbox Game Pass explode and get bigger and bigger, as everyone will have to have an active subscription in order to use Xbox Live features, partying up with friends, playing online multiplayer, etc. And as we've discussed, as you just said, Xbox Live is where you want to be, as it is the best online network. And as I've said before, Boom, the more people subscribe to Game Pass equals more funding for new Xbox Game Pass and games for the Game Pass and studios. So this is a win-win, and possibly you could argue it's a win-win-win, a triple win, because by gamers subscribing to Game Pass, the gamer will save more money than they would have normally spent, as 1 year of Game Pass is the equivalent of only 2 AAA games.
Hello. Yes.
And as we have covered before on the show, Boom, by 2020 and beyond, Microsoft plan on getting at the very least 4 first-party games out per annum.
Yeah, AAA games, by the way.
Exactly. So already you are halving your expense, and that's including Xbox Live and all the things as well, if what Boom says was to happen. And that's before we even contemplate third-party publishers and developers putting their games into the service, whether it be later on or day and date. In a nutshell, Boom, Xbox would double their annual income. This is the main bit, guys. I've broken it down, and if you have to rewind and re-listen to this section of the podcast when it's available on demand, but this is the bit you need to hear. What Boom is saying in a nutshell is Xbox as a company will double their annual income from the individual Xbox gamer, while also being able to fund more projects. And at the exact same time, we as the Xbox fan are saving a pretty significant fortune.
Yes.
So what you're saying doesn't only make sense, Boom, it is absolutely genius.
Well, I'm going to add another win to your already 3 wins. How about them apples?
All right, Boom, calm down. Hold your horses. Now I want to hear this 4th win.
Yeah, well, think about this for a second, right? You are a third-party developer, right? And you see that there are 30,000 subscriptions to Xbox Game Pass. Right? Not 30,000, 30 million. Let's say, for instance, they quadruple what they have now in the next generation. Everyone's jumping onto Game Pass because why? Microsoft makes it in a way where it's appealing to the consumer. Yeah, you can play with your friends for free, and you get these 200 plus games in there. It's just $10 a month rather than the $60 a year. But we're replacing that $60 paywall with you getting all of these games. So you're part of the Xbox Game Pass family. And the developer looks at that and say, wait a second, there's a potential for 30 plus million subscribers. And again, this is just a shot in the dark, grain of salt. So take it like it. They look at those numbers and they say it's 30 million potential customers. Now, are they going to sell said game to every one of those customers? No, they're not. But I can guarantee you that they're going to get sales that they normally would not have gotten because it's in Game Pass, so they can play it. And Phil Spencer himself has already said that they unexpectedly saw a rise in game sales because of Xbox Game Pass. So I mean, again, it's a win for the developer, it's a win for Microsoft, and it's a win for the consumer,
and potentially a win for third party. It is literally a 4-pronged win.
Yes,
I think people need to understand that, like, $60 you're paying a year for just Xbox Live, and you get 4 games with gold titles every month. Some are good, some are crap, each to their own. But you could argue that's not enough. Like, we need more, we need this, we need that. What Boom is implying is for $120 a year, $10 a month, you are getting over 200 titles for free because it's constantly being recycled, added. As we will discuss later, there's another laundry list of great titles added, constantly being added. And with what Boom's saying, if you were to get Xbox Live, like by default, which allows you to party up, play online, the best infrastructure, the best network, then on top of that, 4 games a year by 2020, one first-party title each quarter, day and date into the Game Pass service. All of this for just $120. Like, it's insane, Boom. Like, if they could do that, if that was even possible, it makes no sense for them not to, because everyone's a winner here, Boom. Like, honestly, every single individual is a winner. There's no ushering around that. Like, there's not a single hole in this logic. Phil Spencer should make this happen, because they will double their revenue and we will half our expense.
Yeah, it's like I said, it is definitely a win. Real quick, I just have to answer. R. Rob in the chat said, "Did I miss the hashtag for a chance to win the Division 2?" No, you have not. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to throw it out there. Go to Twitter and type in hashtag Dave and Boom, spell it all out in lower caps, and in 10 minutes, giving everyone a chance to do that, I'm going to draw the winner for the Division 2, thanks to both Dave Sweeps and myself. So anything else you'd like to add to what we've already talked about? Because when you and I break this down, I mean, there are a lot. I'm reading the chat. There are a lot of people that are agreeing with what we're saying, because again, it's 4 wins across the board for everyone. Microsoft, the consumer, third party, and again, getting more eyes on a game gives you more potential for sales. When sale, we broke this down on Twitter. Both of us did. When more sales on a particular title equals the potential for sequels or investment in other projects. Right? Money makes money, more money. Right? I mean, simple.
No, mate, definitely. And what's great about this idea that you presented to me, Boom, is the fact that it would kill that whole argument as well. I'm pretty sure I said this, but just to be clear, just in case I didn't, but it would kill that argument as well of, why is it only that Xbox gamers need to pay for Live? So if Xbox enforced this thing that if you want to access Xbox's games, its features, its online network, all its everything, you need to be a subscriber of Game Pass, regardless of whether you're on the console, on a PC, you're streaming to a tablet, you're streaming to the Maverick, you're streaming to a phone. It would put every possible person who wants to invest their time and money into the Xbox ecosystem in the exact same shoes, thus killing the argument that one person gets it better over the other. If everyone has to pay the same $10 a month to be part of the Xbox ecosystem and to play on Xbox's original titles, to access Xbox's features, just to be part of Xbox, everyone needs to pay the same fee. That is a 5th win. It's a win, baby.
I love it.
That's all I can say, Boom. What a well-written topic, Boom. I'm going to give you a clap there. Everyone in the chat, you have to, honestly, you have to truly appreciate what Boom does for this show. Like, I mean, I like to think I pull my weight, but Boom is squatting an elephant right now. He is not just pulling his weight. He is carrying Dumbo to the circus. Mate, you are brilliant. Carry on.
Well, I definitely appreciate it. But you know what? I want to move into a fun topic. When we talked last week about bringing a backwards compatible topic to the show each and every week, we got a really, really good response from the community, because you talk about games that sometimes people don't, you miss out. I mean, I just saw Alito Papa, the sheriff, along with UK Dazarus of the chat. He said, I won't say the curse word because I don't like to curse unnecessarily, but he said he gets mind effed every time he looks at how many games he has to play. And he's completely correct. I mean, my backlog, I have currently 40 something games on 14 terabytes on my Xbox One X, right? That's madness. That's what that is. That's complete madness. Did I play all 800 games? Well, of course I didn't. My backlog is as tall as I am, and I'm 6 feet. So it's sometimes you miss things. So, Welsh, were you able to find 2 backward compatible games that you could suggest to this amazing community?
Absolutely. I have the answer of what I can recommend that is currently backwards compat. I have one for the OG, and I have one for the 360 that are readily available now. And I've also added a section, an OG and a 360 title that I want to be backwards compat.
Nice.
So I'm going to begin by saying these are my 2 recommendations for what is actually already available. The OG Xbox, we have Destroy All Humans.
Yes, good one.
I love that game. I haven't, pardon me, I haven't actually played it since it's become backwards compat. But I used to love that game back in the day. Oh my God, what a fantastic game. That is literally fun. Like all I think of is fun. The way you levitate people and throw them around, mate. Honestly, on the 360 now, on a more serious, historical note, I can't recommend this highly enough. And this one I have actually played backwards compat on my Xbox One, and it looks gorgeous. Boom, still holds its own graphically and stuff. It's unbelievable. Very powerful story. Medal of Honor Airborne.
Yeah, that's a good one, dude. I loved Airborne. My God, that was so good.
Oh man, the Medal of Honor games were it's a true shame that it's like Medal of Honor being discontinued because they stopped making Medal of Honor games after that piss poor attempt at a Modern Warfare game back in like 2011 or whatever it was. But Medal of Honor, it's such a sad truth that franchise isn't about anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
It's literally like a rare species of rhino dying and whatever. It's like they just, they don't make authentic shooters quite like that anymore, in my opinion. You could argue Call of Duty is this, that, and the other, but COD is nowhere near the same level of fun and passion and storytelling and that like Medal of Honor was. Absolutely not. In terms of what I want, though, this one was very easy. What I want to come to backwards compat. For the OG, I want Simpsons Hit and Run. And for the 360, I want the Simpsons game. I want my Simpsons games to come back. Or at the very least, I want the guys over at bloody Warner Brothers or whoever does the Simpsons, Fox, I should say. I want them to make a new Simpsons game. But yeah, that's what I got for you, Boom.
Okay, well, real quick, before I get into mine, I'm going to pick the winner. I did it through Tweet Draw. Congratulations to Magnetic Storm 25 for the Division 2 win for the Xbox One. I will be DMing you after the show with your code. Once again, the winner is Magnetic Storm 25 of Twitter. He actually hashtag tweeted that 43 minutes ago when the show started. So congratulations to him. I know I've seen him in the chat numerous times. That is awesome. Congratulations from both Dave Sweeps and Double Barrel Gaming. Now, here we go. Let's get into my picks.
Let's do it.
Wait. Before we get into my picks, Welsh, I have something to say. And I have something to say to you, more specifically. Last week, first of all, I have to give a big shout out to Cameron Saunders of Twitter at Cambo Saunders, who tweeted at me and he said, boom, 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 boom. We were just talking about this on your podcast before last. I think someone was listening. And today, Welsh, Larry Herb announced 2 more titles that are backwards compatible. One is Air Mech Arena, means nothing to you. The second one, Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway. We made it happen.
Man, boom. We're making it big, baby. They're listening. They're listening to the Xbox Factor. Everyone rejoice. The Xbox Factor movement is in full succession. Oh, man. Mate, that is music to my ears. Hopefully, I can only imagine, being that Xbox is, a big proponent for OG Xbox backwards compat as well. If they manage to get the thumbs up for Hell's Highway, I am hoping to God that hopefully gets them to do the original to Road to Hill 30 and Earning Blood. Oh man, if they do that, Boom, you won't see me for a month. Oh man, everyone in the chat, if you have not played a Brothers in Arms game yet, you are doing yourself a disservice.
Yes,
that is
I
what.
agree.
Speaking of, I just gave Medal of Honor its props for being an authentic feeling World War shooter. I'm a World War fanboy. But Medal of Honor was more of the atmospherical shooter. It set a tone more than it was authentic. Brothers in Arms is arguably the most realistic, what you can come to it, what you'd expect to be like in that era, to be in the mud and the grit, cover to cover, directing your men. Oh my! If you haven't played it, you are missing out. Get your ass on that game immediately. Oh, Boom, that is fantastic.
Yeah, I knew you were definitely going to dig that. So big shout out to Mr. Saunders of Twitter. Get over there, follow him, and tell him that Boom and Welsh sent you. Real quick, here are my two picks. First of all, I want to go start with the OG Xbox in regards to this particular new fun topic. Again, hashtag fun, folks. That's what we play games for. Star Wars Republic Commando is one of the best first-person shooter masterpieces that you've never played. I guarantee you half the people in this chat may have missed this gem. It's an original Star Wars story told from the perspective of the clones. 4 brothers. And it is, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. I have not played it as of yet. I'm going to play through that game again. It is a complete masterpiece. And obviously, since EA has taken over the license for 6 years, all we've gotten were 2 games. Now, of course, Respawn's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will be out hopefully in the fall of this year. But we haven't had a lot of Star Wars games to kind of sink our teeth in. Unless they're backwards compatible, of course, right? You have KOTOR. I think KOTOR 2 is by Obsidian is there. The last Jedi. I mean, that's not the last Jedi. One of the Jedi Academy just became available. So we've had some older classics to go back to. But Republic Commando, my God, Welsh, what a fantastic Star Wars story. Really, really, really something you should deserve. It's $10 right now. Real quick, I have to say a big shout out to Elemental P for the outstanding $5 super chat. He says, I am now a fan of this podcast. Thank you for your service, gentlemen. Well, you know what? Thank you for taking the time to listen to the show. It is greatly appreciated. And I'm glad that you're a fan because I'm a fan of you. I'm a fan of everybody in this chat that comes out to support this small but seemingly growing Xbox-centric show. And my next pick for the Xbox 360 is one that just became, it was free, and I think it's still free. Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Oh my God, what an absolute masterpiece. Now, okay, I know, Konami is who they are. Platinum Games did this, okay? And this starred Raiden from, Metal Gear Solid 2 and 4. And it's a game that I know a lot of people missed. It is not stealth oriented. It is a slash fest. All you're doing is cutting arms and legs and heads. Limbs are flying all over the place. It tells a pretty decent, to be honest with you, Metal Gear story. If you missed it, it's $20 on Xbox Live, but I found it on Amazon.com for 10. So, listen, go where your money your money could take you. I say go to Amazon, pick it up for $10. Maybe go to, I hate to say this, GameStop, and maybe get it used for like $7 or $8. But it's definitely worth it if you missed out on getting it for free. But I believe it's still free. And real quick, I just wanted to add an update to the 2 titles that became backwards compatible. Castlevania Harmony of Despair was added on 3/18 for the Xbox 360 as backwards compatible, and that's a great title. If you haven't played a Castlevania game in a long time, that's definitely one to play. But Welsh, I want to move on to Xbox Game Pass, another big topic for this particular show almost every other week, simply because that's when the new games drop. And they just dropped some real awesome information as to what games are going to be added before the end of March. Starting with Deus Ex, the first one, which was amazing. Edith Finch was oh my God, that was such an amazing tale. It's a walking simulator, yes, but it tells an incredible story. I highly recommend it. I actually found out about that through someone who just came up in the chat. Randall Thor 19, very good friend of the show. Love his stuff. He talked about it, and because of Randall Thor 19, I played Edith Finch, and it was, like he said, a masterpiece, and one I almost bought. This, and I'm glad I didn't. Vampire is added to Game Pass, dude, and that's supposed to be absolutely amazing. So let's break down exactly what else is there in total. Let's see. I'm just gonna break it down. I'm gonna get your opinion. Today, 6 new additions were announced to the soon to be arriving at Xbox Game Pass, with 5 of the games arriving before the end of the month. The new release kicks off tomorrow, which is today, the 21st, with Deus Ex Mankind Divided. And you're going to be getting, in addition, Giant Sparrow Stella narrative-driven experience, What Remains of Edith Finch. You're also going to be getting, let's see, on the 28th, Telltale's The Walking Dead Michonne. That was really good. I really enjoyed that. If you're a Walking Dead fan, if you're more of a Michonne fan, great story. Not as long as some of the other Walking Deads, but it was still great nonetheless. Vampire, we just talked about. And there's also in March 29th is the dungeon crawling RPG Opersina. I think that's the way it's called. The Stolen Sun will be added to Game Pass, and there is one more which I don't know where the hell I did it. I'll find out what it is. Well, I get your opinion, but Drew, listen, Microsoft continues to prove the value of one of the best services in the business. What are your takeaways from the newest additions showing up late in the month rather than just at the beginning and not nothing else being added?
It's a stellar lineup, Boom. There's no denying that. There is such variety in those 6 titles. Very strong additions, and by the looks, I've only it's so funny, man. Like I can imagine loads of people that, Welsh, you fraud, but only one of the 6 I've actually played, and that's The Walking Dead Michonne. Now, everyone, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent on this particular game because it is a hugely recommended title. Like, if you are a fan of the Walking Dead comics, if you like Telltale, even if you haven't played a Telltale game before, but you're a fan of the Walking Dead comics, I do really recommend this. Some may not know this, Boom, but I've followed the comics for going on 15 years now. But this prequel miniseries is actually about the Walking Dead comic books iconic character Michonne. There is an adaptation in the TV show, but her character is very different in the comics. And in the comics, there's a point in the story of the comics, where Michonne has a bit of an identity crisis, and she wants to. A lot of shit has happened. People she cared about has died, and she's kind of like and ahhing about where am I in this world. So she decides to split away from Rick and the group temporarily to gather her thoughts and kind of like become herself again. And in the comics, you don't see her for ages, and then she comes back. Now, The Walking Dead's Michonne by Telltale is the prequel story, if you can say prequel, I don't know if that's the right terminology, of where she was when she was absent in the comic. So for anyone who are comic fans or just Michonne fans, it's a very good story on how she was battling her demons. It's a 3-part story opposed to the normal 6-part mini series by Telltale. But it covers what she got up to with the absence of the comics, and it is really cool. Great story, and I could not recommend more. Side story, there you go. Thank you, Thanaros. I knew I was saying the wrong freaking word. Prequel. Oh man, but no, I wanted to get that off my chest because that is a fantastic game. But next, obviously, Eden Finch. That is that absolute must for me. I've always wanted to try that, and now I definitely have the opportunity. I know a lot of people might not like that style of game, like the whole walk and click thing, like those indie games, kind of like Telltale, as I just said. But some of them have got very good stories, and I'm very excited to try this one. I've heard great things about Deus Ex. Never played it, but I have heard great things. And funnily enough, Boom, you did just say it as well. But my friend actually came into the party last night on Xbox and was like, "Oh, boys, I just got Vampire from CEX for £12. I can't wait to play this." So he's going to be like, "Welsh, you bastard," when I'm playing it for free.
That's great.
Oh, man. I'm, to continue, I'm not a huge fighter fan, but I will definitely be taking a look at Marvel versus Capcom.
Yes, that's the other one. Yes, thank you for the save. I could not remember what the last one was. Marvel versus Capcom, dude.
Well, Marvel versus Capcom Infinite, so it's got the Infinite, something to get you a little warmed up, ready for Endgame. So I'll have a little blast on that. My main man Cap. Oh man. So in answer to your question, Boom, I've given you my opinions on the 6 and from what I saw. But in answer to your question regarding value, this service is just outstanding. I mean, what more can we say, Boom? It just continues to surprise me how many titles they add. It truly is the only service out there that can contend with Netflix. As we have said time and time again, it's simply fantastic value for money. And in spirit of everything we've discussed regarding Google, xCloud, Play Anywhere, Game Pass, the potential, or should we say the wish, the hope that Xbox uses Game Pass to their advantage and to our advantage, and integrating live and as one big payment for everyone across the board, whatever device you're on. This is why Game Pass is going to lead the way.
Yes,
like I said to Boom in the Twitter DM the other day, he asked me what my stance on Game Pass was, and I can put it simply. This is the best way I can put it, the best analogy I can give. Xbox is Santa's sleigh. The sack in the back of the sleigh is all the features, the Xbox Live, the network, all the toys, all the shit you can think of that goes into the Xbox.
All the control. Well, it's got to be a deep sack. A lot of controllers in there. A
lot of controllers. But Xbox Game Pass is Rudolph with the red nose guiding the sleigh. Game Pass is what's going to be like a ram barging through any obstacle in its path. Game Pass, and again, I'll say it one more time. I've said it about 1 million times this show already, but Game Pass is just another testament to the forward thinking for Microsoft and Phil Spencer. People made fun of it. They were like, all your games are going in this day and day. Xbox is irrelevant. Xbox is going to die. And look what's happened a year later, Boom.
Yeah.
It was going to be just 80 titles. Then it was going to be 100 titles. And now we're sitting at, I bet you if we really sat and counted, within the next few months, it's going to be, it's just continue. There's just no stopping it, Boom. And this is why I put my stock in the Xbox ecosystem. And I know that whatever they do is going to be amazing. And their value for money, it is the gift that keeps on giving. And this is just testament to the service yet again. Fantastic value, Boom.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Real quick, James 176 with the outstanding $2 super chat. He says, loving the show, less than 10 hours to Sekiro. Yes, I am getting Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. I have the collector's edition paid for. I will be attempting to pick that up today so I could play for tomorrow, play this evening so I could talk about it in tomorrow's show because I am all in on Sekiro. Again, I'm not a Souls guy. I suck at those games, but I'm good at Neo. And if it plays like Neo, I'm all in. But real quick, before we get out of here, we're almost at 90 minutes, and this show has been incredible. A lot of opinion pieces, a lot of original content. You don't find some of the stuff that on this show that you do other shows, simply because I spend a lot of time, especially up at night. I'm usually up 3 days a week writing past 1 o'clock in the morning to make sure that each and every show is different, but also it's fun. It's fun. And I want people to think about the brand. I don't want people just to, jump on bandwagons, right? And Welsh is saying that he can go for a little bit more. So we have 1 or 2 more topics before we get out of here. So if you want to hang around, let's bring up the next topic, Welsh. Microsoft and Rare just released a new trailer for Sea of Thieves called the Anniversary Update. And if you didn't know, they just celebrated their 1-year anniversary of the title's launch. In the trailer, we got to see the release date, which is April 30th. along with the addition of the highly anticipated arena multiplayer mode, as well as something that has my interest very pretty much peaked. And that was the mention of something called Tall Tales, which I'm wondering if that's going to be the single player portion of the game I've personally been waiting for. Drew, how exciting is it to see that Rare celebrating the game's 1 year anniversary, and more importantly, showing the fans that the support of the game is not stopping anytime soon?
Once again, Boom, like this just validates and just further proves what I know I have always said about Xbox's games. You know that when you get a game at launch, it's going to be supported for years to come. And, that is certainly the case here, Boom, with Rare's Sea of Thieves. I remember when people were handing Rare and Xbox L's like it was Christmas when this game launched, just plain ignorant to the fact that even in just a small amount of time, like 6 months, or in this case, a whole year, which isn't a long time if you're talking a game and what you expect in terms of longevity, this game would become unrecognizable to the launch product.
Yes, I agree.
And if people in the chat, if people think that I'm lying or damage controlling, please, I urge you, after this show, go to my channel. A year ago, I did a video called Let's Talk About the Sea of Thieves Hate. And
I remember it well.
Honestly, when you listen to that video, please comment in the comment section below and say, I came to listen because you told me to listen on Xbox Factor. Just so I know that I actually sent you. But bottom line, I said that this would happen all the way back then when I did this video. It just cements for me that Xbox is the home to quality titles, Boom. Because we can all agree that quantity of titles this generation for Xbox is very subjective, and it might not be where everyone wanted it to be. But we can all agree that Xbox delivered quality and longevity with its titles this generation, and Sea of Thieves is certainly an example of that claim. Regarding the trailer, though, Boom, it was very exciting. For me, I'm a Sea of Thieves fan. I really enjoy it. It's a game I go back to frequently. I've been playing a bit of it recently with Salty and Titan Drago. But firstly, I got to say as well, I don't know if you noticed it, but I noticed that in gold, the first thing we saw was the Xbox Game Studios banner.
Yes.
The new, because, a lot of people that might have been sleeping under a rock, Microsoft Studios, as it was called, has now been changed to Xbox Game Studios, which is going to be their new trademark. It is going to be, that is what you're going to see everywhere, the same way you see Amazon Prime or Hulu or Netflix. Xbox Game Studios is the Xbox originals, the Xbox, like the Netflix, the equivalent to Netflix originals. That is what, moving forward with this Xbox Play Anywhere initiative, you are going to see that pop up a lot. So take notes. But obviously that's been changed, and it's the Xbox, it's part of the Xbox brand across devices movement. It's shown a lot of new stuff being added, like the Tall Tales, which is probably going to be another expansion. And every single one they've done so far, Boom, has been fantastic. So I expect nothing less. And all I can say is this: if you're an individual that hasn't played Sea of Thieves yet, what better time than now to jump in with your friends? And even solo, you can play solo if you want. And it's one of those few games out there today where you, as the gamer, control the narrative, opposed to being told to go to A, B, and C. It's not linear. You literally hit the high seas and do whatever you freaking want. And with the new thing coming out, the arena, which I like to call Pirates Unknown Battlegrounds, because it's essentially going to be
that's great. Yeah,
mate, it is essentially going to be Player Unknown Battlegrounds, but with pirate ships all going after. You're going to be given, literally there'll be like 10 ships. Each ship gets given a map. Every single ship has got the same map to the same treasure point, and you're all fighting to get the same treasure. It's going to be hilarious. Like, talk about fun, talk about unique. Name one game out there that's doing that. Like, name one. I'll wait. I don't care. 1 year later, this game is unrecognizable. It has evolved. It's beaten all the adversity, and it's cementing its place as the highest. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, Boom, but isn't Sea of Thieves the highest selling new IP this generation or something like that?
It's up there. Yeah, they sold a lot of copies, dude. It wasn't just Xbox Game Pass leading the charge. They sold a lot of copies.
And it's deserved. 1 year later, and the game has completely just evolved and just become its own entity. It just is testament to what Rare is doing, what Xbox puts their money and their mouth on. That came out a little bit rude, but you know
Yeah,
what I
no,
mean.
no, but I know what you meant.
I just think it's a phenomenal time to be a gamer. And if you are a fan of Sea of Thieves, well, you should be happy. And if you haven't played it yet, what better time to?
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Real quick, with all of the goodwill that we've spoken about today, you know what I'm saying? We like talking positive about the Xbox brand. There are going to be times where a certain situation is going to present itself, and it's going to require us to talk about it. And give the points, the valid points. The Master Chief Collection is coming to PC, right? And we know what's happening with Halo Reach. We know where the Master Chief Collection is getting it. If you have Game Pass, you don't have to buy it. But if you don't have Xbox Game Pass and you own the Master Chief Collection, I believe the price is $5 for each. I'm not 100% sure. I've heard people say that. And as we know, if you're going to play the Halo Master Chief Collection on the PC, well, Xbox Live, Gold to pay for it won't be required simply because they don't pay for Xbox Live. But this is a double-edged topic, and I kind of want to get the chat's opinion on it. I want to get your opinion on it. There are a lot of PC gamers who don't have an Xbox One X, right, or an Xbox One at all. They play on the PC, and many an online component that the OG Xbox did not have. So yes, I don't know why people think that it's only why is it going to PC, because it started out on PC. It just was a long time ago. But Bonnie Ross confirmed something that and again, this is why I gotta lean on you, Drew, to get your opinion on this. This is what she had to say. One of the questions we've gotten is, will Master Chief Collection PC support Xbox Play Anywhere? And first off, I want to say we so appreciate all of the support we've had from the Xbox One community with the MCC, and we're obviously bringing Reach to the collection. And she talked about this at the the South by Southwest Halo competition. And she says, while the MCC shipped before Xbox Play Anywhere, we are exploring ways to make sure that we show our appreciation and recognition for the support we've had from the amazing fans of the Master Chief Collection, and we'll have more to announce as we get closer to launch. Now, what that's basically telling me, and I've read this on numerous articles, if you want to play it on PC and you own it on the Xbox One, you're going to have to rebuy it for the PC. Now, as great and consumer friendly is Microsoft as a whole, in your opinion, Drew, do you think that this is a bit of a drop the ball moment with the Halo Master Chief Collection? I mean, if you own it on the Xbox One, shouldn't it have been immediately available for you to play on Xbox on PC if you wanted to?
Right. Okay. I'm like you. Well, right. stutter. Obviously, I can only go by what you sent me via DM. I have not done any extra research into this. I am reading between any lines that have been drawn from the topic you presented to me. Okay, Boom. So whatever I say now is just my initial reaction, and that I just want to be clear to everyone in the chat as well. For me, Boom, in answer to your question, it's a toughie. It is a toughie. It's a hard one to crack because I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that they aren't actually porting MCC to PC like you would expect.
No, this
But
is from what I understand from the ground up.
yeah, so so in fact they're actually making MCC for the PC. I know I could be wrong. I don't know, but I'm just almost certain that that is the case. And that is why it's going to PC in sections, starting with Reach as an ongoing project. At least that's the impression I got from here. That's the impression I got when it was announced on Inside Xbox. So if that is the case, Boom, then to an extent, I can completely understand why PC players, or should I say, any gamer who wants to have it on their PC, will have to pay a separate toll to have that because in a sense, if what I'm saying is correct, it would essentially be a separate game. I know it's the same game.
No, I know, but it was literally built from the ground up to get it to work on PC.
Yeah. So in a sense, to pay to pay for their pizzas, to keep the lights on, people can't just work for free. It's one thing to spend a month porting a game, but if they're going to be spending months, plural, building a new game, a year building a new game from the ground up, then I completely understand the price tag. But, and this is a big but, if what I just said is complete and utter horse shit, and I have got the completely wrong end of the stick somewhere, and this is simply just a port, or they are using the foundations of the Xbox game, and it's not going to take as much effort as me and you are speculating it might be, in terms of building it from the ground up. And it's basically the game we have right now, but going to PC, and they're still going to charge you an extra fee to play it on PC. Then I think that's bollocks. I think that is shocking, Boom. I'll stand by you and say that is piss poor. That's nothing like we've come to know and love from Xbox and their pro-consumer ways. The only way Bonnie Ross can make this right, if that is the case, because obviously I explained that if they are in fact making the game from the ground up, then I completely understand there being a price tag. I do. I'll back that horse all the way. But if I'm wrong, and if we're wrong, if we've read the wrong lines here, and it is in fact just a case of putting the game from Xbox over to PC, and they are still going to charge you, the only way they can make it right is by making this game play anywhere. The guys at 343 aren't stupid. I'm sure they could figure something out. But if they can do something about this, and they choose not to for the extra $1, and they continue to charge people, I'm not behind that one bit, Boom.
I agree. I agree. That's a great point. Really well said. Great answer. Real quick, someone dropped a $2 super chat. I believe it was a board game. Could you just read exactly what he said? Because my feed got cut off again.
What? So someone else sent? Did you say someone sent a super
$2 super chat? A board game in the chat dropped a $2 super chat.
Yep, the board game Renegade, $2. He said, Sea of Thieves is one of my favorite games ever. Great point.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for the $2. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. Thanks for being here. And, I want to love Sea of Thieves, but I just am not that kind of a player. If they offer single player, which I hope Tall Tales is, I'm all in. Or what I'm saying, I don't want to be fighting everybody. I just want to enjoy the what the graphics look like and the cartoon, water. And I just want to enjoy the environment. I don't want to have to worry about if I'm turning around buying a shirt in a shop, someone's going to come in and shoot me and run away. I don't want that. So, with that said, let's move on to the last topic of the show. This is UK Dazarus is really going to dig this if he's still here, because I'm at an article that I sent you, and I'm happy for this. I'm a big Neo Geo fan. I'm an old school cat. I don't have it anymore, shamefully enough. It's one of the biggest, worst mistakes I ever made. I had a Neo Geo cart with 20 games, and I had Neo Geo CD. Don't ask what I did with them. I'm sure I sold them like an idiot. But I'm a big Neo Geo fan. I know UK Dazarus, besides being a big fighting game fan, loves the ACA Neo Geo games because he loves getting the 1,000 achievement points, which he probably has for all of them. But with that said, it was just confirmed that the brand new Samurai Shodown has been confirmed for the Xbox One. And if you have not seen this game running, holy shit, it is gorgeous to look at. If you're a Street Fighter fan and you like those big bulky kind of characters, Samurai Shodown has you covered. I'm a big Samurai Shodown fan. This actually was announced from NeoGeoNow.com is where I got the story from, and they're always up to date with their Neo Geo stuff. This was originally announced last year as a PS4 exclusive. I was devastated. And we just got the confirmation that it is in fact coming to the Xbox One. Are you a fan of fighting games, more specifically Neo Geo fighters, Welsh?
No.
Okay, I mean that's okay.
No,
It's all
do
right.
you know what? You've caught me with my speak. You always say like, "Oh, I wonder if Xbox has caught Sony with their pants down." You caught me with my pants down just then, Boom. I literally, I didn't even, I didn't even know this was a topic. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what? We wanted to add a little bit more girth to the show because you can hang around, and I enjoy hanging out with the people in the community,
Of
and
course.
I thought it would be a good public service announcement that if you're a Neo Geo fan and you're a Samurai Shodown fan, the new game will be coming to the Xbox platform later this year.
Can I just
And,
ask you this, Boom? Sorry,
yes, sir.
sorry to cut you off, but Samurai Showdown, you said a moment ago that it was initially a PlayStation exclusive.
Yes.
And is it a Japanese game?
Well, I mean, yes and no. You know what I'm saying? Because Samurai Showdown has a place in the States here. You know what I'm saying? It's one of their big fighting for Neo Geo. It's one of their big series. King of Fighters,
Hmm.
Samurai Showdown, Fatal Fury.
Is it a Japanese developer that makes it though? Yeah.
SNK is definitely a Japanese developer. Yes, for sure.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I suppose like all I can say, knowing very little about it, just from what you've said, is it's just another scenario where a Japanese title was exclusive to PlayStation, obviously due to Phil Spencer's open arms. Being like, all games are welcome on the platform. Like, we got another Japanese title, and for the fighting fans, it must be great news. So, as someone who knows fuck all about that game until about 5 seconds ago, I say this: big ups to everyone who was looking forward to it, and big ups to Phil for being so, open arms, welcoming for the Japanese gaming community, the Japanese, developers, because obviously there was a point early on this gen where Japanese games just were non-existent on the Xbox, and now we're seeing more coming every day. So, no, that's good to know.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, again, it's if you're a fighting game fan and you know about about Neo Geo and you know about Samurai Showdown, you're gonna definitely dig this game. But this has been one hell of an episode, Welsh. I mean, again, a lot of original topics, great discussion with the chat. The generosity of several people in this chat has been nothing short of breathtaking. So thank you for all the donations through Super Chat. Congratulations to the winner of the Division 2. I mean, that's a big game. It's out now. It's one of the best games to release so far this year. I'm having a blast with it. It actually is ruining my life because I'm playing it and somehow I'm still able to work and do the stories, but I'm not getting enough sleep, I think. So I'm gonna have to catch up on that. Welsh, listen, you came back big in 2019 with your channel. You're going to continue to support your own channel with original content through videos. Tell everyone where they can follow you on Twitter, but more specifically, sub your incredible YouTube channel.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Boom. I've been actually playing about with OBS again recently. Got a few things up my sleeve, potential projects coming up. Me and Boom and Salty have been in talks in the background, as well as E-Rock and Micro. I've had a chat with them as well. Hopefully going to get something together. You will hear more from me regarding it if it does materialize. But also I've been playing with OBS as another platform for video making. So basically, if a topic comes to mind, I can just click the button and I'll be broadcasting live with a live feed with an OBS overlay, and I can talk shop and talk topics, as and when I see fit. And it's a very quick and let's just say quick and easy way of getting videos out there. So just playing with ideas. More videos are definitely coming. I know I keep saying it, but I'm just looking at my setup and trying to see the most efficient way to get videos out, because I'm a stay-at-home dad for my 4-year-old with autism, and he's a lot of work. He's hard work. So when I do get 5 minutes to 10 minutes to slip away and make a video, I'm trying to think of the quickest way I can do that. So that's about it. If you want to hit me up on my channel, The Welsh Gamer, 3 words, hit the sub button, hit the bell button. Hit me up on Twitter at the Welsh Gamer 93, 1 word. DM me if there's a topic you want me to cover. If you just want to talk, if you want to party up on Xbox, pretty much anything, guys. I'm an open book. I'm a nice guy. Don't let the Welsh Dragon fool you or scare you the picture. He seems angry, but he's not. He's a lovable animal. But not cracking show, Boom. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm glad we got to stick around for a little bit more. Absolutely love what we do. Great show. Everyone in the chat, love you all. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Thanks for your support. That's the Welsh Gamer out. Nice one, Boom.
Thank you so much, dude. Once again, a big shout out to the chat. Two sheriffs in there. Actually, three. The Indie Gamer has recently become a moderator because I trust him indubitably. Of course, we have UK Dazarus, the original OG sheriff, and Lethal Papa, who also is someone who moderates the chat to make sure that we try to have a fun chat. We try to have a chat that pushes hashtag fun and no hate. If you have a strong opinion about a game or about a console, it's perfectly okay. But to be nasty about it, to treat others in a crummy manner, we definitely detest that. And don't be that guy. All right, don't be that guy that comes to the chat looking for trouble, because these guys, they're relentless and they have my full authority to bounce you if you're gonna talk racial slurs, unacceptable. Anything with race, religion, sexuality, we don't tolerate any of that. So just be good to one another. Treat everyone with respect. My dad used to say it doesn't cost anything to be nice. I think that if we live with something as simple as that, it really could take us far. But again, thanks again for everyone tuning in. We had over 150 people watching. The show is exploding. I don't necessarily know if we're going to get as big as some of the night shows, but of course I would love to. So do me a favor, retweet this show. Let your friends know that we found an Xbox podcast that pushes positivity, that has a positive outlook for the brand. And, we'll call out Microsoft when necessary, but we won't do it unnecessarily. And Welsh, thanks to you, I could not do this without you. Your topic today was spot on. Very well done. Very well thought out. And we will see you next week on the newest episode of the Xbox Factor podcast. Enjoy your gaming and have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Take care.
Take care now.